You know, in the world of artificial intelligence, something absolutely massive is happening right now. It's like a modern-day gold rush, and we're seeing billions, and I mean billions, of dollars pouring into one single country. Today, we're going to break down India's incredible AI boom.
And that brings us to the big question, right? Why this sudden, enormous bet on India? We're talking more than $52 billion from just a couple of companies. So what is really going on here? To really get your head around the scale of this, you just have to look at the numbers. Let's start with this one, $17.5 billion. And get this, that's just from one company.
Yep, that huge number comes straight from Microsoft. It is their single biggest investment in Asia ever. This is not some casual bet. This is a massive strategic play to build out what they call hyperscale cloud and AI data centers. Basically, it's the giant digital plumbing that's going to power modern AI. And it was announced right after CEO Satya Nadella met with India's Prime Minister.
But just as you're wrapping your head around that number, look at this, $35 billion. That is literally double the Microsoft investment. The scale here is just staggering. And this $35 billion, that's coming from Amazon. This promise, which runs all the way through 2030, actually makes them the single biggest foreign investor in the entire country. They're basically doubling down on their data centers with a huge focus on AI and creating jobs.
So you've got Microsoft and Amazon making these historic investments. But here's the thing, they are not alone, not by a long shot. Let's take a quick look at who else is jumping in on this.
Oh yeah, the list just keeps on going. Google's dropping $15 billion to build a massive AI hub. And then, and this is super important, you have the semiconductor piece of the puzzle. Intel is partnering up with India's own Tata Group, which is plowing over $14 billion into building the country's first major chip manufacturing plant.
This slide really puts it all into perspective. See, these aren't just random investments. This is a coordinated push to build a complete AI ecosystem from the ground up. You've got Microsoft handling the infrastructure, Amazon on digitization, Google on the development side, and then Tata and Intel building the actual physical hardware. It's all happening at once. So we know who's spending the money and what they're building. But that still leaves the biggest question of all. Why? Why is all this capital flooding into India right now? Well, it really boils down to three main reasons.
These right here are the three pillars holding this whole thing up. A gigantic consumer market, a government that's actively encouraging this, and a major, major shift in global politics. Let's unpack each one.
First up, the consumers. This quote pretty much says it all. India has 1 billion phone users. Think about that. 1 billion people speaking all kinds of different languages from countless different cultures. For an AI model, that's the ultimate stress test. If your AI can handle the sheer diversity of India, it can probably work anywhere on Earth. Now that brings us to the government and the geopolitical angle. For years, China was the default place for tech investment. But now, US companies are getting nervous. They're looking at India as a much safer bet. It's a democracy, it has a huge market, a deep pool of English-speaking engineers, and a government that's basically rolling out the red carpet to make this happen.
Okay, so the strategy for these big tech companies is pretty clear. But let's flip the script. What do these tens of billions of dollars actually mean for the people of India? What are the real tangible benefits here?
Let's start with this number, 20 million. That's Microsoft's pledge. They're not just building data centers and walking away. They're actually committing to train 20 million Indians in AI skills by 2030. That's preparing a massive workforce for this new economy.
And the impact is already here. Just look at Amazon's investments alone. They've already helped create or support almost 3 million jobs, both direct and indirect. So this isn't some promise about the future. It's about real economic growth that's happening right now.
But this is about more than just jobs and money. It's about control. And that brings us to this key idea, data sovereignty. By building these huge data centers in India, these companies are agreeing to keep Indian data inside India, where it's subject to Indian laws. For the country, that's a huge strategic victory.
So, when you add it all up, the jobs, the new skills, the control over data, it all points to one major conclusion. India isn't just getting investment, it's earning a powerful new seat at the global technology table.
This quote sums up the ultimate prize perfectly. Think about it. If you're only a consumer of technology, you don't get a say in how it's built or used.
But by becoming a critical part of the AI supply chain, from designing the chips to housing the data, you gain real leverage. You get a voice in shaping the future.
And that leaves us with the final huge question. This AI gold rush is turning India into an essential hub for global tech. The country is gaining an incredible amount of influence. The big question for all of us is, what will India do with it?